Japanese toy maker Takara-Tomy, the creators of Beyblade, have finally unveiled the next generation of the game to the world, Beyblade Burst. This new series comes with a new way to win. While you could previously win Bey battles by either outspinning your opponent's Beyblade or by knocking it out of the Bey Stadium, Beyblade Burst introduces a third victory condition, Burst Finish, to the game. But before we get to that, we're going to take a look at how these new Beyblades are constructed. While Beyblades have been using metal attack parts ever since the release of the heavy metal system in 2003, Beyblade Burst undoes that change and reverts to a system similar to the original plastic designs. Like the initial releases in every previous generation of Beyblade, the new Burst system is simplified in order to allow the series to expand later on. That's why it's composed of just 3 parts. The layer is the part most responsible for doing damage to the opposing Beyblade. It's made of both clear and opaque plastic, and features the character of the Beyblade. The disc is the only metal part, and its primary function is to add weight to the Beyblade. That said, the size, shape, and weight of the disc all affect the Beyblade's battling attributes significantly. The driver contains the Beyblade's tip, which determines its movement patterns. It also forms the core of the Beyblade, with both the layer and disc attaching to it. There's no special part required to fasten the Beyblade together. All you need to do is assemble the parts and turn the layer clockwise. As always, the most strategic element of the game is that you can customize your Beyblade, mixing and matching parts to alter your Beyblade's performance in 3 categories: attack, defense, and stamina. But in Beyblade Burst, there's a major new gameplay mechanic that's going to change the way every blader forms their battle strategy. Previously, there were 2 ways to win a Bey battle: by outspin, or what Takara-Tomy is now calling spin finish, and by knockout, now called overfinish by Takara-Tomy. Beyblade Burst introduces a third victory condition, Burst Finish. With a powerful attack, or a series of successive blows, you can cause your opponent's Beyblade to explode in battle, ending the match. So how does Burst Finish work? The Beyblade's disc rests on top of 2 tabs, located on the driver. When the layer and disc are pressed down during assembly, the tabs on top of the driver are pushed inwards, which compresses a spring located inside. The layer is then tightened by turning it clockwise, which will cause it to click multiple times. These clicks signify the steps between a Beyblade being fully tightened at the beginning of the battle and it being bursted by the opponent. As the layer is hit during battle, it will become progressively unscrewed from the driver. When the Beyblade becomes completely loosened, the spring in the driver is released, sending the disc and layer flying in an explosive finish. Layers in Beyblade Burst are designed for a completely new kind of battle, with notches that are meant to lock together during combat, progressively unscrewing the layer of the opposing Beyblade. The design of these contact points are a huge factor in determining how prone a Beyblade is to bursting. But there is another, much less visible factor. Each layer has a set of teeth on its underside, and those teeth determine how much force is required for the layer to become loosened. For example, the Valkyrie layer's teeth are sharp and pronounced. Valkyrie is therefore somewhat resistant to being burst. The Spriggan layer's teeth are wider and rounded off, so they take less force to undo. This, combined with Spriggan's pronounced and powerful attacking points, make it particularly prone to bursting. Compare that to the Kirbyus layer, which is the least vulnerable to bursting in the initial lineup. This is due both to its larger central teeth and a design that deflects attacks rather than absorbing or countering them. Through extensive testing, the World Beyblade Organization discovered that when playing with the initial Beyblade Burst lineup, battles end in a burst finish just over half of the time. The introduction of bursting brings with it serious new strategic considerations. In addition to a layer's ability to attack the opposing Beyblade or protect against incoming attacks, bladers must also factor in how vulnerable to bursting it is. Previously, defense and stamina type Beyblades were mostly safe from attackers, as long as they could keep from being knocked out of the Bey Stadium early in the match. But now, the tide of the battle can turn at any moment, even if the outcome seems certain. Beyblade Burst brings with it yet another new element, the Bey Logger. While you don't need a Bey Logger to play Beyblade Burst, having one allows you to record your wins, losses, and launching data and upload them to the web. By downloading the Beyblade Burst app on a supported iOS or Android device and connecting your Bey Logger to your device using the included cable, you can upload your data to your blader profile at beyblade.takara-tomy.co.jp. Now, these services are currently only intended for those who live in Japan, so the interface is entirely in Japanese. Despite that, its functions are still available to everyone. While Beyblade Burst has many all-new elements, some things have been left mostly unchanged. The ripcord-powered light launcher is back, along with a new iteration of the string-powered Bey launcher, which we unfortunately didn't have access to when we filmed this video. Launching works pretty similarly to the original plastic Beyblade series, but anyone who's launched a Beyblade before will find it familiar enough. The new Bey Stadium Standard Type includes all of the features we've come to expect from a basic, competitive Bey Stadium. A shallow, bowl-shaped center, 3 exits for Beyblades to be knocked out through, and a ridge that allows high-speed Beyblades to rapidly circle the arena without flying out of it. The only real change is the built-in guard that prevents bursted Beyblade parts from flying everywhere. Previously, Japanese Beyblade stadiums came with cardboard guards that many players opted not to use. With the new Bey Stadium Standard Type, the stadium walls and the guard are the same piece, so using it is pretty much mandatory. The guard somewhat reduces your mobility while launching, but this isn't a huge issue. The new burst finish mechanic is the biggest change to the way that Beyblade is played in the game's 15-year history. Despite that, it's easy to see that this is still the same fundamental Beyblade formula that every blader knows and loves. Beyblade Burst hits Japanese stores in July 2015, with an international release estimated for 2017. We'll be regularly posting product reviews, battle clips, and strategy videos from now on, so be sure to subscribe for the latest in Beyblade Burst.